your generous donation, please help. Please support Imam Hussein TV.
We need your generous support. With your support, there could be more documentaries. With your support, there could be more programs. With your support, Shia Voice may come to your community. We cannot continue this without your generous donations. In this holy month of Ramadan, a month of charity, a month of giving, a month of generosity, come together, join us on Imam Hussein TV and generously donate as you always have done, so we may continue to provide programs which serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of course the holy household.
السلام عليكم، أنا إبراهيم عمري 6. حتى أنا ودي التربية مشتاق له. ظل يشرب حبوب، ظل يشرب حبوب، نوبة طلع تدرن، نوبة مات. أنا أريد طيارة بالعيد مثلا، أي شيء. طيارة هاي الطيارة من هاي مثلا، أي طيارة. هاي الطيارة ترفع بالسماء، تتنزل مثلا، أي طيارة أخذها.
Little Ibrahim here wanted a drone. Thanks to Make the World Come True and your donations, we got him a drone.
This Eid, let's show orphans that they are not alone. Your contribution can help us provide them with love, care, and a memorable celebration.
تقول الحمد لله والشكر إذا كان موجود. إذا كان موجود أبونا الحمد لله والشكر، لأن هو يقوم بواجبنا، هو يتحمل مسؤوليتنا، هو يتكفل عيشتنا. بس هسه الناس الخيرة وأنتم إن شاء الله الله ما يقطع.
أنا اسمي حمود، أبويا ميت بشر، وأنا أريد فلوس ومعاي.
لا تبكي.
Brothers and sisters, this is the reality for many families here in Karbala. Every small contribution helps. Even a single pound can make a big difference. Together, we can build a brighter future for our community and continue to contribute to the everlasting message of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam.
السلام عليكم، اسمي رافع العايد، عمري 6 سنين. أنا مشتاقة لبابا مات كان عمري من نص صغيرة. أنا أريد بالعيد لعابي. اسمي عايدة من 4. أتمنى بابا ميت. أحب للعيد أدي لعابي.
Sisters Rafal and Russell wanted dolls for their dua to come true. Thanks to your donations, we made that happen.
Let's spread joy this Eid by giving gifts to orphans. Your donation can make a child's dream come true.
From hard-hitting, insightful discussions,
because when I come to the hadith, I look
to shows for the whole family,
Welcome to 7 Steps to Heaven. Yes.
to shows that keep you on the edge of your seats,
the winner is Mullah Ali Zuhairi!
to live streams from the holy city of Karbala. There is something for everyone on Imam Hussein TV, your gateway to Karbala.
I think it's everyone's dream to work and serve the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam.
Working with this project allows us to contribute back to the community.
Our main objective is to bring Imam Hussein to every household, or to take people to Karbala.
Producers, cameramen and editors all synchronize to capture, inspire and bring you closer to Abu Abdullah.
Working here is an honor and a privilege, yet nothing compared to the sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Pass on the lantern of Imam Hussein.
Why should you support?
Why should you support?
Why should you support?
Imam Hussein TV is our Husseiniyyah to the world.
It's an open university to learn theology, history, law, Quran, and many more sciences.
Many rely on our channel as they have no access to any Husseiniyyahs or any mosques.
And they have no access to any community events nor scholars, and they solely rely on our broadcasting.
Children in the West have so many questions to ask about the faith.
We aim to educate youth and reverts in a thoughtful manner and language which is interactive, easily digestible and understood.
Our project is fully crowdfunded. We have no sales, no business, no profits.
If you do not support us, who will?
If you do not open a channel, who will?
And if you do not raise the flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who will?
We have been operating since 2016, and we have brought to you shows like Morning Barakah,
Ahkam SOS,
Her Thoughts,
and the debate show.
We also have created many documentaries on topics such as the death of the Prophet ﷺ,
miracles in Arba'een,
non-Shias visiting Karbala,
And most importantly,
we bring you Karbala live.
Karbala live.
Karbala live.
Karbala live.
لبيك يا حسين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV3, welcome back to another episode of Ahkam SOS, the show where we discuss various Islamic topics, practices and principles. Welcome back to the final episode of Ahkam SOS of this season during the holy month of Ramadan. Inshallah, tonight will be the final episode, and inshallah we will have a short break and join us again, once again, for a brand new season. Coming shortly will be announced very, very soon of another season of Ahkam SOS. I'm your host, Sayyid Muthanna al-Musawi, and I am joined by the one and the only Sheikh Ali. Marājiʿ. Salam alaikum, Sheikhna.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing, Sheikhna?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Allah yataqabbal a'malak, Sheikhna, wa siyamak, Sheikhna, especially during this holy month. And as well, before we do start off with any of the questions, or I speak to the people at home, Sheikhna, it's been a long month for us. 30 days working, of course. But of course we see this as a khidmah, correct?
Yes, indeed. May Allah accept initially the amal and the fast and the prayers and supplications of the brothers and sisters, mu'min mu'minat around the world. And it is a great opportunity for the one to be able to perform these rituals in this holy month, that we leave this month with full-handed of gifts from Allah Azza wa Jal, rewards, even dunyawi and ukhrawi as well, so for this world and the hereafter. And inshallah, may Allah Azza wa Jal give us the tawfiq to also be able to fast the coming month of Ramadan, because we never know if we're going to be in this world in the next month of Ramadan. We had many friends who are now in the cemeteries and in the graveyards, who were with us last year. So may Allah Azza wa Jal give us the tawfiq to be able to fast again in the next month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the wise words. To the viewers at home, before we do get into the episode, as I have just said, and as the Sheikh has just said, we've been here throughout the holy month of Ramadan, doing answering your questions. The Sheikh has been answering your questions. So we would also like to hear some feedback from you all. If you guys have any feedback, do either send it in the WhatsApp or the YouTube comment section, or as well at the end of the episode, we will show a link below where you can send in on a survey. You can give us your feedback, and inshallah we can improve for the coming seasons and the coming years. And without further ado, I'd just like to give a quick reminder to you all at home, of course, you know how the show works if you have been watching for the past couple of days, for the past month, or even before that. If you do not know, however, I'll give you a quick teaching. To send in your questions, all you need to do is call in with the number shown below over here, 0203 515 0199, or send in your questions with the WhatsApp number, or scan the QR code, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah in all three scenarios, the Sheikh will be here to answer your questions. And Sheikhna, let's begin with the questions for one final time this holy month of Ramadan. From WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum. Why do mosques have to be a certain distance away from each other in order to conduct Jum'ah prayers?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. These are fiqhi rulings in which we might have a reason or justifications or given for that purpose. Why do we have such a ruling? Sometimes we don't have any rulings with that. I mean, no explanation or interpretation for that. Like, why do you pray 2 rak'ah of morning Fajr prayers? Why is it not 4 rak'ah rather than 2 rak'ah? So sometimes we have explanations, but sometimes we don't have that elaboration in terms of the wisdom behind these rituals in some cases. So for Salat al-Jum'ah, I haven't read or heard anything with this regard, but it could be that each community have their own, مثلا, their own community to be able to gather and pray Friday prayer, rather than if they are very close to each other, that could cause some issues.
Okay.
But anyhow, as I've said, the distance would allow separating those two to be able to pray separately rather than next to each other, and then you might have things happen. And anyhow, it's just an idea with regards to the interpretations of these ahkam. We never know the actual interpretation or the meaning of those rulings.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Very, very interesting. And then moving on, from YouTube, in Ilm al-Rijal, there is a term, لم يروا عن واحد من الأئمة. What does it mean, and how does the presence of such a narrator affect the reliability of the hadith?
We have some titles given to some of these narrations. For example, either it's مضمور أو مغمور. There's a specific title given to such hadith, where عن جماعة, for example, عن عدة من أصحابنا, we have in Kafi many narrations. But when you go back to the tarjuma of these ashab, you find that the author himself, when he says عدة من أصحابنا, he mentions the names of those عدة. So it's not a mursal hadith.
Okay.
Or marfu', for example.
Yeah.
Those عدة mentioned at the end of the book or in other books, that it's fulan, fulan, fulan. The author brings their names, that these individuals are those who are not mentioned because there were groups narrating at the same time, for example. So he just said عدة من أصحابنا. So yes, each hadith has its own interpretation in terms of how it's been linked to the rest of the companions who narrate this hadith. With different types, as I've said, you have gharib, hadith gharib, you have hadith da'if, for example, and so forth.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And Sheikhna, I believe we have a phone call now. Assalamu alaikum. Hello? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, the viewer? Hello? It seems to be we are having some technical difficulties, so please do call us again. Maybe you've closed the phone on your end, so do call us again, and inshallah the Sheikh will be here to answer your question. Moving on, Sheikhna, from WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah you are all doing well. Inshallah you are also doing well, dear viewer. It was recently announced that there will be a lunar eclipse, if I am not mistaken. From what time can Salat al-Ayat be performed, and until when do I have time to offer it?
If you are in Europe, then I think it was this morning. So you've missed the salah if you're in Europe. In America, I'm not sure if it's the same timing. So you have to check the websites that shows about the birth of the eclipse or the start of the eclipse to the end of the eclipse. Usually it's an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay.
And it becomes wajib for the one to pray Salatul Ayat.
Okay.
When you see that phenomena happens, you have to pray. Alhamdulillah, we managed to pray this morning.
Okay, yeah.
It was between 10 and 12 a.m.
Yeah.
So 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So just before the noon time.
Okay. And Shaykhna, what if you were sleeping throughout that time? Do you then need to pray the Salat al-Ayat Qadha?
If it's a full eclipse, yes, you have to.
Only if it's a full eclipse?
Yes.
So in this scenario, you don't have to?
No.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And Shaykhna, I believe we've gotten our caller back. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalam, ahlan wa sahlan.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you doing, dear brother?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah. I am well, the Shaykh as well. Inshallah, the whole studio as well. Your question, dear brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykhna.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Shaykhna, my question is regarding right now with this new rise that we see in the West, are promoting the type of things that Nabi Lut came to kind of preach against, and that being the LGBTQ rise. If we see an individual that we don't necessarily know their true, we don't necessarily know their true gender because maybe they're identified as non-binary or this type of stuff, what do we do and how do we treat them?
Okay, interesting question. So, Shaykhna, our dear brother is calling in and asking, so now in the West, there's many people that have that are thinking in the wrong way, and he's comparing it to the time of Nabi Allah Lut. And he's saying that this is what Nabi Lut preached against with the LGBTQ community. And what if we come across a person that we don't know what their gender is, they could be binary or anything like that. How do we approach this person and how do we deal with this person?
Of course, the Quran says, لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ وَلِدِينَ. I have my own faith and you have your own faith. We deal with other faiths and religions the same way. We're not going to tell them you're kada kada ila akhirih. لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ وَلِدِينَ. So it's up to them to choose whatever they like, the way they want to live, and we can't force them. La ikraha fi din. We're not going to enforce them to become Muslims, for example. So, but if you think you can have some kind of influence in terms of guiding them, that would be great.
Okay.
To convert them with the hikmah, موعظة حسنة, بالتي أحسن. That would be great, of course. And you save them from ظلمات إلى النور. So you would save them from darkness to the enlightenment and the illumination of the Islam, inshallah.
Inshallah. But Shaykhna, what if, of course, you say لكم دينكم ولي دين, you completely avoid them if you don't have to approach them. What if you have to approach them? Let's say you work in the same place as them, and you cannot go ahead with your work unless you speak to them. Do you still speak to them in a polite manner? And how do you approach them? How do you talk to people like this?
Of course, they're human beings like us. إما أخ لك في الدين أو نظير لك في الخلق.
Okay.
In creation, he is like me, as a human being.
Of course.
Now he is in a different faith, aqidah, belief. That's something goes back to him and to her as their choice. But as a human being, if I'm a doctor, I would treat all types of patients.
Of course.
I'm not going to say, I'm not going to treat certain patients, for example. He needs or she needs a treatment, I have to treat them, خلاص. So as a humanity, I have no choice.
Understood. Great example. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. Moving on from WhatsApp, in which situations can I eat non-halal meat?
When somebody faces death, let's say you're in a Sahara desert, there's no food, there's a piece of flesh, dead meat, let's say.
Okay.
To extend just to keep you alive, because you cannot allow yourself to kill yourself somehow. So to that extent you are allowed. Otherwise it's forbidden.
So only if you're on the verge of death.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And from YouTube, did Imam Ali alayhi salam ever give bay'ah or pray behind the 3 caliphs in Jama'ah?
There's a story mentioned about the Imam was behind Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr ordered Khalid, who was next to Imam Ali, to assassinate the Imam and kill the Imam. And then Abu Bakr said, in the Salah, just before he ends the Salah, because he was thinking about the consequences of killing Ali alayhi salam, if that was successful by Khalid.
Okay.
So this narration mentions that, or his historical narration mentions that Imam was behind Abu Bakr. Now, is this true, untrue, authentic, non-authentic? That's a different issue. Anyhow, the Imam in all their time, most of the Imam were in the situation of taqiyya. And taqiyya, of course, Ammar practiced taqiyya, and the Holy Prophet affirmed him. So taqiyya in the Holy Quran, حتى تتقوا المتقاتا, mentions the Holy Quran, the verse about Ammar, when he said, praised the gods of the disbelievers, and he was saved from killing. So in some cases Ahl Bayt had to observe taqiyya to an extent that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam had to break his fast because the ruler, the Zalim ruler, Mansur, announced that today, or the other ruler, maybe the other one, that today is Eid and you have to open your fast. So the Imam said, I would open my fast today, break it and make it up later, better than I would have my neck to be struck with a sword. In other words, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ, do not kill yourself, in other words. So it wasn't the time for the Imam to be killed. He had the message to deliver, and then he gained the shahada afterwards with poison of the tyrant of his time. So yes, indeed, I mean, these things have to be, has its own time and situation. Even if the Imam, we discovered that he prayed behind Abu Bakr, of course the Imam is the Imam. He knows the Ahkam Shar'iyya. Even if I would be in the same situation, I would pray for Ada, for example. If I'm in that situation, I would pray for Ada. So maybe the Imam prayed for Ada, which you can pray in this way. For example, if this narration was authentic, as I've said. So we have to see the chain of the narrators, what the ulama say about this hadith. And this narration.
Makes sense. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And from WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum. I've heard that the Quran is not in the correct order. Is that true? And do the Shia also believe that the Quran was compiled by the caliphs of the time?
Number one, the Quran is as it was revealed on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, complete. There's no issue with it, no fabrication. And number two, was compiled in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shaykhna. And from YouTube, do we have to have our ankles exposed during Salah like the Sunnis do?
No, it's not something wajib.
Okay. And from YouTube, we break the fast after 45 minutes from Maghrib time. Why don't we break the fast after Maghrib time and do iftar and offer Isha prayers? Is there something wrong with that?
No, it's usually 15-20 minutes after the sunset. So let's say in the West, 20-25 minutes max with the ihtiyat. Otherwise, you don't have to go over than that. So 20 minutes would be fine, especially Northern Europe region, Scandinavian countries. 20-25 minutes, that should be fine for the one to open their fast.
Okay, thank you very much, Shaykhna. And Shaykhna, the next question from YouTube, quite an interesting question, but what I'm going to find more interesting is the answer, Shaykhna. So please, from YouTube, Assalamu alaikum, Shaykhna. I wanted to ask, what makes Taraweeh a bid'ah using Sunni books, and did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam pray Taraweeh prayers?
It's a statement, Umar's statement about the Taraweeh. He said, "Ni'matul bid'ah hadih." So if the Umar who invented this salah, he said this is he praises this bid'ah, then it's something belongs to Umar. He brought the salah in the Sharia in Islam, and till today they pray it. Otherwise, if it was a sunnah, we would be the first people to follow the sunnah and pray in the mosques. Definitely, it's the salah, mustahab. Or has been recited in these prayers, for example. We could have done it before, but because it's bid'ah, and Umar confesses it's a bid'ah, نعمة البدعة هذه. Type it in Google, you'll find the hadith and the source, and this is
And this is written in the Sunni books?
Yes, نعمة البدعة هذه. Yes, he praises this bid'ah.
Okay. And Shaykhna, the second question was, did the Prophet ﷺ pray these Tarawih prayers?
Not at all. In Jama'ah, not at all. There was mustahab salah in the month of Ramadan. He prayed it by himself, but not in Jama'ah. So they tried to come and pray behind the Prophet. He left the mosque. So there was an attempt to pray in his time, but the Prophet didn't allow it.
Okay, thank you very much, Shaykhna. Thank you very much for the interesting answer. And from YouTube, if I am bleeding and I have no idea, and it smudges on my prayer mat, does my salah become batal since I'm praying on something unpure?
I think some ulama would mention that you have to repeat your salah in this case, because if najasa, you have a certain limit for the blood to be on your clothes or body. If it goes beyond that penny size, then of course you can't continue your salah, because the more blood has been spilled, then you have to repeat your salah again.
Okay.
So up to the penny size or
penny size. Okay.
Depends on the types of the sense of the pennies, as I say.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And from WhatsApp, can I eat mud cake and ice cream?
So what does it mean? Is it
so mud cake? I'm not entirely sure what mud cake is, but I know what ice cream is. We're of course allowed to eat ice cream. Mud cake, if one of the viewers, the person that sent in that question, if you can just reiterate what mud cake is and just explain more about it, then the Sheikh will be able to answer you on that. Moving on from YouTube, how do we view Sunni books of tradition? We often use them to strengthen our arguments, but then I hear that we generally reject them.
You see, what is agreed upon both sides about, for example, the ahaqiyat of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, the greatness of Ahlul Bayt, then we bring it. For example, I mention always that Shi'i Sunni sources mention this famous hadith, mutawatir hadith, that the Prophet said, I leave two weighty things, the book of Allah and my progeny. They narrate and we narrate. So that's why we stick with it, because we want the non-Shia community to be guided towards the right path.
Of course.
So if we don't argue with them, then the majority would be lost. Na'udhu billah, in hellfire. Because the hadith says at the end, لَن تَضِلُّوا بَعْدِي أَبَدًا. If you stick and follow and pursue the book of Allah and my progeny, my family, you will never go astray. In other words, the mafhum that if you reject my progeny, you will go astray. It means you will go to hellfire. Na'udhu billah. So we want to save them from hellfire. So that's why we have to have this argument, and we bring their hadith, our hadith, which both agree upon, and discuss. That's why should we follow Ahlul Bayt rather than the companions.
Okay. That, of course, thank you very much, Shaykhna. And from WhatsApp, Salaam Alaikum. Some of my friends feel morally uncomfortable about the rule in Islam that allows men to have 4 wives. Can you please clarify if the practice is only encouraged in certain situations like war? And why is it not banned in all other cases? It seems like a suboptimal situation for the children of a father who has multiple wives.
If you recite the Holy Quran, you'll find the verse at the end says, أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةً. You have to be just with those 2 or 3, 4 wives. Without being just, of course, you stick with one. So that's the condition, to be just, adil.
Okay.
Can we achieve this adala in somehow? With today's situation, the economic crisis, for example, war, we can see economic, crash, credit crunch and so forth. Can we make sure that the men are able to pay and to be with their families, to split those nights with each family, for example? If not, then there's no adala. Then you're going to be oppressing the other side.
Okay.
So Allah ta'adulu fawahid. The Quran is very clear.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you very much, Shaykhna. And Shaykhna, also, with regards to that, you're saying that adala, so equal between each of the wives, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if you treat them equally, but in your heart you don't love them equally, do you still have to be adil in terms of within your heart as well?
No, you can't. You can't be just with your heart. It's difficult. You love one more than the other one. It's something you can't really adjust. It's difficult. But at least on the ground, in the real world, you have to provide justice and adala for all the women that you have. Otherwise, you can just have one and have a happy life. So it depends on how you want to treat them. So justice is very important, adala, because you don't end up being oppressive against the wife and the kids of the second or third wife, for example.
Understood. Thank you very much, Sheikh Net. Thank you very much. And to the dear viewers at home, we will now be going on a break. So make sure to send in your questions. Very, very short break, and inshallah we'll see you after the break.
For those interested in an Islamic law book by Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi, please WhatsApp the Ahkam SOS team at the following number to place your order today: +44 7415 09 2155. The Islamic law book, available exclusively in hard copy, contains religious questions answered by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi. Order your hard copy today. For those interested in an Islamic law book by Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi, please WhatsApp the Ahkam SOS team at the following number to place your order today: +44 7415 09 2155. The Islamic law book, available exclusively in hard copy, contains religious questions answered by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi. Order your hard copy today.
Welcome back after the break to Ahkam SOS, the show where we discuss various Islamic topics, practices and principles. I hope that during the break you managed to send in your questions. If you have not done yet so, please do send them in now, either by calling in with the numbers shown below or sending a question with the WhatsApp number or the QR code, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah the Sheikh will be here to answer your questions. As I said at the beginning of the episode, this is the final episode of this holy month of Ramadan and this season. Please do join us very, very shortly after a short break of between seasons, and then inshallah do join us again for the next season of Ahkam SOS. Before we do get back to the questions, Sheikhna, I would like to ask you, what is the amount of fitriyah for this Ramadan?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Initially, it is wajib and obligatory upon the person who has a family, who are dependent on this individual, be it a man or a woman.
Okay.
That this individual spends on them.
Okay.
To pay on each head, even if it was I don't know, 1 month or 2 weeks old baby, to spend and to give zakat al-fitr of 3 kilograms of wheat or of rice, let's say. The price of this, the value of the rice, let's say, of the wheat, flour. Of course, each country has its own pricing, and this is according to Ayatollah Shirazi's pricing. You might have different pricing in other centers. Please check with your center, with your marājiʿ office. But this is what we have now. For example, for America, it's $10 per head, per person. In Canada, $13 Canadian dollars. In Australia, $20 Australian dollars. In England, it's £6.
Okay.
You could have it £7 in some other centers. 1 or 2 pound the difference could be. Also, we have in Germany €9 for those in Europe. France, €7.
Okay.
Other countries, Denmark, 65 crowns, for example. We have also in Sweden, 100 crowns, Swedish crown. In Iraq, it's 1,500 dinars, almost $1 تقريبا.
Okay. Yeah.
So in Iraq, other countries, of course, those who are in Turkey, let's say 200 lira, Turkish lira. and so on. So Pakistan is 290 rupiah for Pakistan. For India, 90 rupiah. So again, Afghanistan, 90 Afghani. So as I've said before, it's wajib for the one who spends on his family, those who are dependent on this individual, man or woman, to take out on the eve of the Eid, to prepare that zakat al-fitrah, and to pay it on the morning, just before praying Salat al-Eid, pay that zakat al-fitrah, if they want to pray Salat al-Eid, of course. And to take out this amount, separate it, and as I've said, per head, per person, 3 kilograms the value of, let's say, rice or the flour, and this inshallah would protect the one from any calamities, inshallah, for the rest of the year, inshallah. And you can pay more, of course, if you want, with a different intention, of course, because that's the minimum required.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Inshallah, we will all go and do that straight away. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Moving on with the questions from WhatsApp. This person has 2 questions, inshallah. This is the first question, Sheikhna. If someone has to take daily ADHD medication at set times during the day for life, can they take it during fasting?
If they are compelled to take it during the day, then they are ill, then they have to basically make it up later. If they can't fast in this month of Ramadan, وَلَيْسَ عَلَى الْمَرِيضِ حَرَجٌ. So the marid wouldn't fast in this case. But if they can't take it at night, they have to take it at night.
But Sheikhna, so they have to take the ADHD medications at specific times during the day for the rest of their lives. So that means they cannot fast at all. If is that what the case is?
Yes, then that's it. There's no fast on them.
Okay.
If they have to take the medication during the daytime, they have to. They don't fast anymore. That's it.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from also from the same person from WhatsApp, sometimes surgeons have to operate for 5 hours without leaving the patient, even for a minute, and they miss Dhuhr and Asr Salah. What should they do?
There is a specific way of Salah for those who cannot pray in such situations that I'm sure they have wudu, for example. There's a way of ima, as they say. They point towards the place of prostration. So because you cannot leave salat at any case, بأي حال, even if you're drowning, na'udhu billah. There's a specific way of saying some tasbihat, which covers each rak'ah. So you say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, the 4 tasbihat, that would count as 1 rak'ah for the one who's drowning and they haven't prayed, for example. So there is a way for it in somehow. For the one who cannot, unable to pray in the way in which is been set. So with pointing towards the place of sujood, ima, and so forth, that can solve the situation. Otherwise, you can't pray qada when you can pray ada.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, can you explain the importance of Imam Ali alayhi salam's speeches and letters, such as those found in Nahj al-Balagha? And what lessons can we draw from them in contemporary times?
Well, the Imam Salamullah, he set a legacy for the leaders of the world, the countries, those who legislate for their own countries, to be able to take the Imam's sermons and statements as role models, as a role model towards establishing justice, because today we don't have justice on this earth. The justice has been vanished almost, even in the democratic countries. So we need to implement and apply those Imam's statements and teachings so that we can have at least some percentage of justice, so people can breathe freely, with freedom, without blood being shed, homes being destroyed, and people being migrated forcibly. So that's the best thing for them, to go back and study the Imams, if they want, of course. If they don't want, that's a different issue. But to save their nations from these calamities and anxieties, they have to go back to the Imam's statements, especially the letter of Imam to Malik bin Ashtar when he was sent to Egypt. That in one of the lines the Imam says, وَلَا تَكُنْ عَلَيْهِمْ صَبُعًا ضَارِيًا. Imagine, the Imam says when you go there and you rule, don't be like a fierce lion. You know, sometimes you see some leaders, they try to establish the law with batons, with force, with imprisonments. The Imam says, no, keep it in a peaceful way. Don't be like a fierce, roaring lion, in other words. Keep it in a way that people would not fear from you.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And then for our final question of the episode from WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna.
Salam.
It is evident that on the calamity on Thursday, Umar al-Khattab, may Allah curse him, he denied the Holy Prophet the pen and the paper 3 days before he died and said the Quran is sufficient for us. Was the Holy Prophet going to reaffirm Imam Ali alayhi salam's imamah? If so, could he have not done this in the period of 3 days before he died after he chucked out the disgusting Sahaba?
The Imam Salamullah alayh, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayh, wanted to, for the last time and before his demise, to make it in writing, to accomplish the hujjah, the proof. He accomplished already the hujjah on the day of Ghadir when he said, Man kuntu mawla fa Ali mawla. So he made this statement in front of the Sahaba. They all gave bay'ah to the Imam Ali alayhi salam as Khalifa after Rasulullah and to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayh, accepting his appointment. But as the Quran said, أَنْقَلَبْتُمْ عَلَىٰ عَقَابِكُمْ. So you will deviate after the Prophet's death or killing. أَفَأَمَّاتَ أَوْ قُتِلَ انْقَلَبْتُمْ. This inqilab, this revolution against the Prophet of Allah, against the Islam, would of course caused till today all this bloodshed, all this adab that's coming not only on the Muslims, even non-Muslims are paying the price for what they did on that Raziyat Yawm al-Khamis.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And to the viewers at home, as I have just said, that was the final question of the episode. We are now at the end of our episode. So thank you very much to you all for tuning in with us through this episode and through all of the previous episodes of this season of this holy month of Ramadan. May Allah accept your fasts and your prayers throughout this holy month, and may you have a blessed Eid and celebrations with your family coming up soon. Inshallah, we do apologize to all of you if we did not manage to answer your questions today and previously in previous episodes. Inshallah, do join us once again in the brand new season, which we will be announcing very shortly on our social media at Ahkam SOS and on Imam Hussein TV 3 on our Instagrams. So do keep your eyes out for the announcements, and inshallah we will be joined by you all again for your questions. And we would also like to give a special thanks to our very own Sheikh Ali Ma'aj. Thank you very much, Sheikh, for being with us today and for the entirety of the holy month of Ramadan. We thank all of you, and we also would like to thank for the people behind the scenes. These people work tirelessly to provide such an excellent program to you all at home. Amir Rida, Salman, Muhammad Rida, and Muhammad Fahad, our director. So thank you very much to you all, and thank you very much to you all at home as well for tuning in and being with us. Just a couple of reminders before we do end the show. As you can see below, very, very shortly, you will see a link which you can donate and show your support towards the TV channel, www.imamhussein3.tv/donate. This is where you can help provide bigger and better shows and more improved shows, so you can help us with that. Another link will be shown right now, very shortly, www.ihtv.co/HQ, the Zainabiyya complex. Inshallah, we are currently in the process of acquiring a brand new building, a building where we will move and we will be able to provide better shows for you all in a bigger studio, in a big offices where we can have more work going out, and inshallah you will enjoy our work. So please donate there, and you will help us build the building brick by brick, and you can be a part of the mission. That is Imam Hussein TV 3. Finally, down below on our YouTube at Imam Hussein TV3. Please subscribe to our account and also on our social media accounts at Imam Hussein TV3 and at Ahkam SOS for all exclusive content. Inshallah, during our break now, there will still be many videos uploaded there. So please do consider following us and liking those videos. Thank you very much for tuning in with us today and for the entirety of the holy month of Ramadan. Fi amanillah.
سنة عباس عمره 7 سنين. بابا ميت مستقل بابا. أريد بابا بالعيد يشتري لي سيارة.
Son had wanted an SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
This is your generosity come to life. Our team in Karbala are busy assembling and delivering iftar packs with your donations. Witness the impact of your support as we reach out to feed the orphans.